Hey there, welcome to Timberline Farms. I'm Quentin Wiebe. This is my wife Theresa, and we operate a turkey farm about half an hour north of Winnipeg in the Interlake. We've been doing this about 28 years. We bought this farm back in 1995. I had been working construction, building houses for years before, but we saw an opportunity to get into the farming lifestyle. It looked good, so we did it. We raise about 60,000 turkeys a year, 7 different flocks ranging from 7 to 10,000 birds, and all the hens we raise are meant to go onto tables to provide healthy meals. You guys want to see some turkeys? Let's go check out the youngest flock in barn 5. So before we head in, I always spray my shoes with a disinfectant. I'll spray them, and then actually before I go into the birds, I'll change my footwear as well. You don't want to track any bugs, any disease. You want to make sure that stays outside. I've got a line on the floor here that I don't want to cross, so those shoes stay on that side. Now we're ready to head in. So we got about 7,000 birds in here. When a turkey is less than 2 weeks old, they call it a poult. So these birds are 4 days old, and you can see they're just starting to get their wing feathers. When we first get them, they're just all fluff. But you can see right here on the tip of the wings, the feathers are starting to grow. At about 4 weeks old, they'll be all white feathers. When we first get the turkeys, they don't have the ability to regulate their body temperature. So we have to have it really hot in the barn. It's about 34 degrees in here. And then as the bird gets older, they can regulate that temperature easier. So we drop the temperature about 3.5 degrees per week until it's comfortable room temperature. On the floor, we've got wood shavings. There's about that much wood shavings covering the floor. It's important to keep the turkeys clean and dry and comfortable. When the turkeys are young, we actually will overfill these feed pans so that they can actually see it. It's important that if they can see the feed, they're curious and they'll go and peck at it and want to eat. The same with these drinkers here. There's this little red ball that goes in there just so that the level of water is a little bit higher, again, just so the birds can see it and they'll be curious. They'll want to go and see what that is, and they'll peck at it and they say, huh, look at that, I found water. We always have food and water available for them, so whenever they're hungry or thirsty, they can just go get a drink whenever they want. This is what they call a mini pellet. It's a very fine little pellet. The birds, because they're so small, they need it ground up quite fine. And as the birds get older, this will get bigger. As the turkeys pick away at the feed at this last pan, it comes on and fills up again. We have this cardboard, we call it cardboard rings. We put it all the way around the barn. That's just to keep the birds close to the feed and water and close to the heat. We don't want them to run out to the sides. Sometimes they get lost there. These birds are about 3.5 weeks old. They're kind of at that teenage stage. See, this is what they look like up close. You see, you want their feet to be nice and clean like that. You don't want manure build up on there. It just looks like a happy bird. You notice that the lights are a little bit dimmer. We dim the lights just so the birds are a little more subdued because they're so curious, sometimes they get themselves into trouble. This is a scale. We have one in every barn, and it weighs the bird. When they hop on and off, it'll actually record that, and we can tell what the average weight is. We can also see how much they're gaining per day. Okay, here we are in the pole barn. This is a finishing barn. We move the birds into here when they're about 5-6 weeks old. And these birds are about 9 weeks old now. They're very curious. They got really good vision. You'll see they're always pecking at my boots. If there's something on my boot, they'll come and peck at it. Very curious bunch of birds. These birds are about 4 kilograms now. They're going to be in here for another 3 weeks, so they'll gain about another 2 kilograms. So they'll be about 6.5 kilograms when we ship them. This barn is naturally ventilated. There's these curtains on the side that open and close depending on the temperature. If there's a cold wind coming from one side, that'll close up just to keep the birds comfortable. Turkeys don't sweat like what we do to stay cool. They'll pant like a dog, or sometimes they just kind of drop their wings down just to get the air flow underneath, close to their body. These fans will drop right down to the ground on hot days, so it's right low. And they love just to stand in front of there and try to stay cool. The feed and water system is very much the same as the previous barn. These cups are a little bit bigger. The feed pans are bigger for adult birds. So all the equipment is on a winch, so as the birds grow bigger, we can lift up the equipment to match their height. Turkey feed is made mostly from grains. There's wheat, corn, soybeans in there, and then they add some minerals and vitamins just so the turkeys get a full balanced diet. Here's some examples of how much a turkey would eat per day. A 1-week-old bird would eat about 22 grams of feed. You can see the feed. This is the smaller little mini pellets. They would drink about a 1/4 cup of water. At about 6 weeks old, they eat 200 grams of feed. Again, you can see the pellets are a little bit bigger, and they drink about a Pepsi can's worth of water in a day. And 11 weeks, when they're just about to be shipped, they would eat 450 grams of feed. Again, you can see these are the biggest pellets, and they would drink a full water bottle of water in a day. This is the feed bin where the feed is stored. We get feed about once a week, and as the birds need it, the feed gets pulled up through this auger into the barn and then into the feed pans the way you saw it in the barn. As you can see, the bin is sitting on load cells, which is a scale. So we always know how much feed is in the bin, and it also monitors how much the birds are eating so we can tell what the daily consumption is. So all the water for the whole farm comes through this room. Here the water is treated, sanitized, so it's healthy for the birds to drink. This here is the controller that we can monitor and control many different things of the barn. We can check the humidity, the temperature, control all the fans. It also monitors the water intake, the feed intake, so we know exactly how much they're eating and drinking. Super handy, we know how much is in the bin. It'll text me if the feed level in the bin is getting too low. It'll let me know if something goes wrong in the barn. If a feed line is running empty, it'll shut it off for me and then text me and let me know there's a problem. Very handy. And everything that I can control here, I can also control from an iPad or my phone from anywhere that has internet access. So this barn, we shipped the birds out of here a little while ago. As you can see, we've lifted up all the equipment so we can get the skid steer underneath. All the manure gets hauled out and spread on the fields, and it makes really good fertilizer. It takes a lot of work to raise a healthy turkey flock, but fortunately we have help. We have the feed company that's always there to answer any feed-related questions. They have a nutritionist on staff that makes sure the turkeys get exactly what they need at each stage of their life. We also have the vet. If we have any trouble, they're always there to help out. And also the hatchery that provides the poults. Any issues with the young birds, they're always there to help as well. Turkey is a year-round protein that you can buy in any grocery store. There's many different products available, like turkey breasts, turkey thighs, drumsticks. There's also ground turkey that you can make into burgers. Turkey is a nutritional powerhouse. It's a high-quality protein that's packed full of vitamins and minerals to ensure you got a healthy body. Protein is great for building and repairing body tissue. It also has iron that helps with healthy blood, and selenium for healthy skin. The best part about my job is I can work right here on the farm. I don't have to commute to work. I can come in for lunch and for meals whenever I want. And it's just great to have the flexibility of working from home. Thanks for joining us on our farm today. I hope you learned something new about turkey. See you later.